$3.50 a gallon. That's not the worst I've ever seen, but it definitely was a lot cheaper like a week ago, man. Thanks to the No New Wars administration bravely pioneering world peace by starting a new war in the Middle East, oil prices are way up. They surged over $100 a barrel. I think they're a little below. Last I checked, they were hovering around 90. I think it peaked at like 120 yesterday or something. So, yeah, fuel prices across the country are up and stuff. So, I figure this is a perfect opportunity to talk about the ever fuel efficient and ever reliable Honda Grom and its practicality as a daily. I'm just out here running some errands. I'm on my way right now to pick up my film negatives in the lab, and then I gotta stop at the grocery store and get some bread, because I'll probably get some Guinness too. Just the essentials today, but I want to walk through some pros and cons of daily riding a Grom. Let's get right into it. Let's jump right in with the first pro, and I alluded to this in the intro here, but fuel efficiency. This Grom, you know, I don't exactly ride it carefully, and I just reset the tripometer actually, so it's saying 142 miles per gallon, but better average, I typically see between 130 and 135 miles per gallon on that little average indicator. So, you know, pretty good. My car gets like 25, so I'll take that any day. And on the affordability side of it, it does run on 87, so regular gas, you don't need to run premium. I have a ZX6R that requires premium. So, pretty good on gas all around. Yeah, $3.49 a gallon there. I saw, I don't know what they charge for premium, but I got my gas at Circle K up the road. It was $3.50 for regular. I saw premium was $4.60. Ugh. The next pro I have for this bike is cheapness, affordability. It's cheap to buy, cheap to own, cheap to maintain. I mean, brand new MSRP on one of these things I think is like $3,700. I mean, obviously, if you're buying brand new from a dealership, you're gonna have like tax, title, destination, all that shit. You're probably looking closer to like 5 out the door. But the used market is also plentiful. These have been in the U.S. market for like, I don't know, 11 or 12 years or something now. And so there's a lot of them out there. They're super popular, and they're always for sale. There's always some on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. So plenty available to buy for relatively cheap, a few $1,000s. Cheap to own as well, because it's a little 125cc single. At least for me, insurance was really cheap. I think when I bought this bike and added it onto my motorcycle insurance policy, and to be fair, I have full coverage on this bike, it was like $30 to add it on for the whole year. So can't complain with that. And then maintenance is a whole other thing. I mean, it's a little single cylinder, you know, it takes, what, I think a quart of oil, if that, you know, singular spark plug. I'd say the most annoying maintenance item is just the chain, and it's not even because, like, you know, I mean, cleaning and lubing a chain isn't, I mean, that's part of any motorcycle, but I find that, I don't know if it's just the OEM chain or what, I find stretches like all hell. Like, I have had to adjust this chain more times on this bike than like any other bike I've owned, and I've only had it for about 1,000 miles. So I don't know, that should be stretching. But yeah, I mean, even like tires are cheap, man. I still have the ones that came with the bike, but I was looking at getting some maybe dual sport tires or something. It's like, yeah, I don't know, you can get decent tires for like well under $100 each. So affordability is definitely a plus there. Also, I apologize in advance if the audio is a little mediocre today. It is windy as fuck out, so there's probably some buffeting on my helmet you can hear. Was it wet? The last pro I want to get into here is the size of the bike. This thing is tiny for a motorcycle, and you can kind of get away with quite a bit because of that. If you live somewhere where lane filtering is legal, it unfortunately is not here in Ohio. But if you are lucky enough to live somewhere where lane filtering is legal, I imagine this thing would be pretty easy to filter with. Definitely not speaking from experience or anything. Also, you can kind of get away with parking in weird spots. I know a lot of bikers will park on like sidewalks, or not on sidewalks, but like in front of stores and stuff. you know, in front of the store or whatever, but you can kind of fit in some small, that's not where I want to turn. This is where I want to turn. You can kind of fit in some, like, small, weird spots with these things. Bikes in general, but especially the Grom. I know, on the rare occasion that I go to Target, there's, the one near me has, like, the cart corral, and it's, like, in between, is that it? No. It's, like, in between, 2 parking spaces, so there's, like, a half a parking spot. There we go. Grab my shit. Alright, got my film. Alright, got my film, now to the grocery store. What was I talking about? Oh, right, there's a spot at the Target near me where they keep, like, the cart corral in between. It's like taking up 2 parking spaces width-wise. So there's like half a parking space on either side. And conveniently, one of those sides, there's like the corral, half a parking spot, and then like some landscaping. So it's like the perfect spot for me to just slide in, get some like VIP parking. But yeah, it's like the perfect spot for me to just slip in between, get some like VIP parking. And no one cares because it's otherwise not a usable parking space. In terms of cons, there's kind of 2, I think, big cons about this bike in terms of using it as a daily rider. You know, for commuting or running errands or whatever. And the first up is somewhat, you know, something you can do something about, and that's storage. So, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's just trash. Storage. Obviously, the stock bike has absolutely no storage. There's no room for anything on the bike. But you can get some OEM Honda accessories. I have the saddlebags. They also have a tail bag, I believe, and a mount for that. Or there's a number of aftermarket options as well. I think I've seen people talk about Kemimoto having some like saddlebags, some other brands as well. So there's definitely options. Like I said, I have the OEM Honda saddlebags, and I quite like them. I've definitely gotten a good amount of use out of them. But there's also a limit, you know what I mean? It's not a 7-row minivan, you know? There's not a ton of room, even with the bags, so doing stuff like this where I'm just kind of running little errands, picking up a couple things, it's not too bad, but I don't know if I'd fit a whole, like, week's worth of groceries for a family of 4 in here, you know what I'm saying? This next one's gonna go red before I go to it. Fuck you, light. I feel like this is a good segue into my next point, which is the speed of this bike, the power of this bike as a con. Obviously, it's a little 125cc single cylinder that makes a whopping, I don't know, 9.5 horsepower or something. If you're including half horsepower figures, that's how you know it's not a lot. But yeah, there are a lot of limitations in terms of what you can do with this motorcycle because it is, I mean, let's admit it, it's slow. It's, you know, it'll get up to speed relatively quick if you know how to shift. It's, you know, small and light, so it'll still move and it'll keep up with, like, this kind of traffic perfectly fine. But, I would not put this thing on the highway. What the... What the fuck? Were they all, like, holding... Was it, like, drywall or something? What the fuck? You know what? I guess, you know, they didn't want to pay for delivery. Look, man, if you're trying to advertise the flags you sell, I feel like you should probably change out the ones that have faded. It's not really a good look. Like, oh yeah, this is what we sell. Look how it's completely sun damaged and unreadable. Yeah, I mean, I've taken this thing down some, like, 50-mile-an-hour highways, and I've gotten it up to about 60. You know, full tuck, probably with a slight downhill. And, you know, it'll do that. And to be fair, the highways around here, most of them are 60 mile an hour. But the problem is that if the speed limit is 60, admittedly, the flow of traffic is probably more like 70 plus. So, not exactly the most optimal bike if you're doing a lot of highway commuting, or really any highway commuting, to be blunt. She is staring hard. What the fuck? I'm telling you, man, Grobs get smiles. What the fuck is this? She yelled something. I didn't hear what. Oh, they turned. Fuck. Well, I don't know. Oh well. Alright, let's go get this bread. Alright. Got my week's groceries in here. Just kidding, I have a loaf of bread and a 4-pack of Guinness, which is my week's groceries. I know the sun's out of my eyes. Let's sum this up. So, does the Grom make a good daily commuter, a practical grocery getter? Kinda. To kind of sum it up, we got, for pros, it's cheap to own, and really fuel efficient. Also, it's pretty small, so you can kind of get away with, you know, getting around and through tight places or whatever. But I think the biggest drawbacks are just the lack of space and the speed of it. You can't take it on highways. It's way too slow. I mean, like I said, I would not be able to fit my week's worth of groceries on this thing. Maybe with more bags or bigger bags I could, but, you know, for quick little errands and stuff, it's honestly great. Like, this is kind of my go-to, you know, it's not winter at least, this is kind of just my go-to little errand bike, assuming I don't have to go too far, or I get on the highway or whatever. And it's great. I get fantastic gas mileage. It's fun, because it's a motorcycle, so I'm having fun. This thing gets smiles everywhere it goes. You know, it's just a fun little bike. Well, that about sums up this one. That's about all I gotta say on that. So, yeah, maybe consider getting a Grom. If you want to save some money on gas and have a great time doing it. But, yeah, if you like that, feel free to drop a like. Check out the channel. I make videos with this Honda Grom, as well as my Kawasaki ZX6R, if you're interested in either of those motorcycles. And hopefully I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.